Around them, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, what do you see different in the Oregon offense this year compared to where you were there last year?
You know, there are some similarities just because I think they're playing to Bo's strengths, but I think they're playing better. I think, I think Troy Franklin's playing at a really high level. I think Taz is phenomenal slot in there with all the slot option stuffs, the unders. He's really good with the ball in space. I think Bo is just a better version of what he was last year. You know, he got comfortable. He was getting the ball out quick last year. Now he's doing it on steroids. So, I mean, I just think everything that offense was, I think they're just better than they were last year.
Schematically, not a big difference from last year?
Schematically, there's some changes. I'm not going to go too much into what I noticed the changes are, but there are definitely a few changes. But Coach Stein does a phenomenal job. He's really playing to the quarterback's strengths. The thing that makes them tough is they run it and throw it well.
Do you spend more time in a week like this working with the defense because of the coaching on?
There's a balance. I don't want to I can go and tell them certain things that I know that I instilled in them last year that they still do, but I know that. So if we go out and create an entire plan for every time Bo goes to the line and does this, I know he's going to do this. They know I know that. They're not going to let Bo go to the line and do the same thing that they do. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a chess match that I need to get away more than I need to get involved. I need to talk personnel, strengths, weaknesses, what they do well, but the scheme stuff, I firmly believe I can only mess up than actually help. Maybe a few tips, but I can't go in there and say, Coach Ward, do this, this, and this. That's going to hurt us.
So yesterday, the Sun Angel Collective had a record day for new monthly signups. Your reaction to that?
Unbelievable. That's what we need. Can we keep that momentum going? That's the challenge. Can we every day set a new record? How many days in a row can we as a Valley, as an ASU community, there's over 100,000 graduates, can we set a record whether you give $10 a month, you give $250 a month, it doesn't matter. Can we set a record, right? How many days in a row can we break that record?
What are the characteristics that you think would be good for ASU in a new AD?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the president. I'm not, making this decision, but I know this. I know I learned a lot from my experience being at the levels like the Auburns and being at the Oregons from an NIL standpoint and the Florida States, that I definitely think that the way college athletics is going, the changing of college athletics, somebody with, a background or that's been at one of these big institutions recently or is still there because he understands the changing of this landscape. He understands how they're changing, so how maybe we need to maneuver and change. And I think this landscape is changing so much, you almost have to get somebody with that background that kind of knows how it's changing and is in it, is part of the change at a high level, because I think Arizona State, from a program perspective, from a school, can be one of the top athletic and academic institutions in the country. I think, maybe getting somebody who has a little bit of background at one of the top athletic institutions would be beneficial.
Coach, and you mentioned obviously Franklin and Tez. I mean, to see how they've grown with Bo, but what's the challenge, and obviously not shutting them down, but at least trying to contain them?
Yeah, I mean, get them uncomfortable. That's really, I guess you can say that about every quarterback, though. It's really hard, though, because he doesn't take sacks. So how do you get a quarterback uncomfortable that doesn't take sacks? So I think that's the challenge. It's a very tough challenge, to be honest. I don't know if anybody's done it all year. They're the number one offense in the country in passing, rushing, third downs, or number two in almost every statistical category. And it goes back to they've got 2 running backs that have returned that are a really good player. They got 5 O-linemen, 3 of which, maybe 4, are going to play on Sundays. They have a quarterback who's the front runner for the Heisman, right? They have a wideout who's a first rounder. They have 2 other wideouts that are going to get drafted. They have a tight end and a half. Both may get drafted. They have a team on offense, a ton of returners at the skill positions, and then a team that is filled with NFL guys. That's a good combination. Player. It's a very good combination.
Coach, in 2019, ASU was in a similar situation and upset Oregon. Do you have any memories of watching that game?
No. I don't know. I actually think I got to watch that game. I think I was working on it that game was during another game or something like that.
As far as their defense, it looks like they're just much better in the defensive line depth, and it's kind of like a domino effect from there as far as the level of play.
Oh yeah, their defensive line is stout. I mean, stout. Like I said, they're getting their defensive line built like a Georgia defensive line, which is Coach Lanning's background, which is big people that are physical, and then a couple guys that can pass rush, but they want to stop the run, right? And they want to play all the match coverages behind it. And if you can stop the run with one less hat in the box or a half hat in the box, and you can, play more match coverages and stuff like that behind it, right? That's how you can be really, really good, and that's how you create turnovers, because you have more guys with eyes on the quarterback. So a really, really good defensive line.
Similar to UCLA, similar to Utah?
More similar to Utah than UCLA, right? More similar to those stout guys that Utah had tough to move. And, coach there, obviously the D-line guy is one of my good buddies, one of the nicest humans in the profession, to be honest, and he just does a really, really good job, and he's a really good person, so it's a good combination.
Do you have any Dan Lanning stories from when he was a GA, you were a high school coach?
Oh, I got a bunch of Dan Lanning stories.
You have a favorite?
I definitely have a favorite.
You have one you can share with us?
I do not.
Coach, if you were with Oregon last year, a lot of their personnel, is game planning for this game any easier than other opponents? Or is it all
No,
the same?
makes it harder. It puts this person in your head. Well, I want to do this. He knows I like that. I want to do this. Well, he knows I want to do that. So it puts this this evil person in your head that's telling you, well, he knows he sat in meetings when you said if teams did this, you want to attack them with this and this formation, and how you game plan, how you look. So it really makes yourself a little bit paranoid. And I think, like I said all along, the challenge is, right, it's a game of chess. How much are they going to change for us? How much are we going to change for them, even though we know each other? And does changing help you or hurt you? And then, are your strengths, at the end of the day, do they match what your strengths your strengths are? So, what we do offensively isn't even close to what we did last year. Not even in the same, stratosphere, right? So it's one of those deals for us, right? We're so much different than we were last year that, how much does he know how we're kind of operating this year? And how much do we want to change? And how do we put our players in the best position to be successful?
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Go Devils.